YouTube video. How you doing? Now, if you're joining me for the first time, my name is Amanda Ihemi and I am a psychotherapist living and working in Lagos, Nigeria. And this is my YouTube channel where I talk to you about grief, depression, anxiety, and existential crisis, even just existential issues and trauma. So if any of those topics are interesting or you are interested in them, do not forget to click on that subscribe button. Just click it right now so you don't forget to do it. And also click on that nice little bell on the side so that you know when next I release a video. Now, how are you doing? How have you been? Feel free to tell me how you're coping in the comment section, and to also refer you to some of the other videos I've done which are about coping with anxiety and understanding depression. So now for today's video, I will be moving from grief and anxiety and depression, like I've been talking about them for a while, to now talking to you about life and the existential part of existence. That's like a tautology, isn't it? But I will be talking more about life and living it. And this particular topic was inspired by a Q&A session that I had on my personal Instagram page with people who are like in their early 20s, because a lot of them talk to me and ask me questions about how do I find my way in life? What am I supposed to be doing? I even have siblings as well that are in their early 20s that are having all this pressure, like they should be doing something great, they should be doing something magnificent, and they struggle with finding a sense of meaning and direction and purpose. So if you fall into that category, whether you're in your early 20s or you're in your 40s or you're in your 60s or your 80s or you're in your teens and you're feeling like my life has no direction, my life has no meaning, my life has no purpose, and you want to find or create meaning and purpose in your life, then this particular video is just for you. So when I get right back, we will get on to talking about how to create meaning and purpose in your life. So stay tuned. So a lot of times when we talk about meaning and purpose, we talk about finding meaning and finding purpose in our lives, but that's just half of the story, because when we do the finding, we're searching, so we're going back inside to ourselves, we're introspecting, we're asking questions, we're seeking clarity. But then after we've done the search, we then have to take responsibility of creating the type of life that we want to live, to create meaning and purpose in our life. So what I'm going to share with you is a mix of both, how to find and how to create meaning in your life. And I'm going to do that in the next couple of tips I'll be sharing with you. The first thing to do is to ask yourself, why do I even have meaninglessness in the first place? What exactly is creating this void or this question, like, what am I doing? What does my life mean? A lot of the times when this happens to us, it's because we're going through a moment of change. Maybe we've lost somebody, and because of that, the idea that we had about life, the perspective, the goal, the purpose, the meaning that we had initially has completely changed and is something different. Maybe we're getting older. When you get to 25, you start to wonder, like, okay, now that I'm 25, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? Maybe you're going through a midlife crisis in your 50s. Maybe you're getting older. Maybe you've moved to a different state, a different country. Maybe you ended a relationship. Maybe you quit a job that you just started recently. So changes can happen in our life that can create the space of meaninglessness, or maybe we never even had it before and we have just been dancing to the tune of somebody else's drum. So before you start fixing a problem, try to understand what exactly created the problem in the first place. So spend time asking yourself, why do I have meaninglessness in my life? What has created this feeling of meaninglessness or purposelessness in my reality? Now, when you've done the work of finding this, the source of the void, you may not even end up finding it, but it's a question worth asking. The next thing to do is to accept the fact that you're changing. So the person you were before, the idea of self you had before, the purpose, the path you were following before, no longer serves you. And now you have to move forward in a different direction. Let go of the person you were and accept and embrace and allow that change to flow through you. Because if you keep on looking back at the person you were and the things you wanted and the path you were following and holding on so tightly and trying to find a way to go back on that path, you'd miss out the reality and the truth that life has changed. Your life is changing, and you need to create new meaning for yourself, and you need to find yourself, maybe go deeper or expand wider into yourself to find out this new path that you need to be on. And the third thing to do after you've allowed yourself to change and giving yourself that permission to, become a better, newer version of yourself, or even just have a different idea of who you want to be, the third thing to do is to know yourself. You have to go back inside. Introspection is such an important part of our lives because we need to always analyze our own behavior so that we are self-aware. So know yourself, become more emotionally intelligent, understand the way your feelings manifest in your behavior. Why am I angry? What makes me upset? Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel that way? Either it's a positive, neutral, or negative emotion. Try to understand it and use that understanding to inform your behavior. And practice empathy by understanding other people's behaviors and using that knowledge to know how you respond and react to the things that they do to you or the interpersonal interactions you have with them. As a part of knowing yourself, you also need to ask yourself, what are some things that I like and what are some things that I don't like? And asking myself personally that question was a very enlightening time for me, because I always felt like I had to like what everybody else liked and I had to dislike what every other person disliked. But there was a quote that I read from a friend on Twitter that sort of said, it's okay for you to embrace and love the things that you enjoy, even if other people don't. And it's these things that you like that make you the person that you are. Those are the things that you bring up during conversations with friends or at dinner parties. Like, I'm interested in ballet. I like, how draft beer is processed. I love the sound of trains. The things you like are a part of the things that make you the person that you are. So know the things that you like and know the things you don't like and embrace them fully. It's okay to like what you like, and it's okay to not like what you don't like. You don't have to follow what every other person says that you should. The next thing about knowing yourself is understanding your childhood. The change that you might be going through may have been influenced by some experiences you had in your childhood that's manifesting in your adult life. So sit back and take out the time to really reflect and understand your childhood. How is it that the things that have happened to you when you were growing up have now informed the adult that you are in this present time? So before you go down this path of creating meaning, there has to be that space for self-awareness. And by practicing these things, introspection, childhood reflection, emotional intelligence, knowing yourself, your likes, your dislikes, your interests, things that don't interest you, you learn more about who you are. And all of that is going to inform how you move forward down this path of creating meaning. And it is in this place of knowing yourself that you sort of enact, or how do I say, it's in this path of knowing yourself that you do that work of finding meaning. This is the search part of that path. Okay? So now when you've done this work of knowing yourself, the next step you move on to is you ask yourself, what do you want your life to mean to you? What type of life? When you sit back and you think about the person that you've been, or you think about the life that you've lived, what do you want it to mean? For me, I want to live a life that when I think about it, reflect on it, it's filled with kindness, it's filled with generosity, it's filled with a whole lot of love from family, from friends, colleagues at work, and people I work with, maybe one-offs, maybe continue. I want my life to be filled with so much joy and love, and not because other people are bringing it to me, but because that's what I'm giving out. And I allow that to feed into everything that I do. So you ask yourself, what do you want your life to mean? What type of life do you want to live that when you're 60 or you're 70 and you're sitting back and you're reflecting on it, you can tell yourself that, yes, that was a life well lived. And that was a life that I lived that made me happy and I'm content with it. So having that idea can really help, calibrate your movement, your compass as to this is the direction I want to go as I'm creating the path for myself, my purpose, my meaning in life. So once you've had that idea, and answering this question can take you a while. It could be like 3 months, it can be a month, 2 weeks, it can take some time. So be patient with yourself, but ask yourself that question and find an answer to it. Then when you do that, the next step is to develop your own personal value system. And having a personal value system is a very important part of life, because your personal value system is like your moral compass. It helps you when you're going to make decisions, because you're constantly weighing those decisions against the things that you value. So your personal value system is really just like a list of things that are very important to you. What do you value in life? Do you value money? Do you value friendships? Do you value time? Do you value relationships? Do you value politics? Do you value the game? Do you value, family? What do you value? And if you say you value these things, how do you treat the things that are important to you? If you say you value time, are you in your daily life working and living like a person who values time, who says time is valuable to me? Or are you just saying that I value time and then doing the entire opposite of not respecting your time and other people's times? So build your own personal value system. I'm going to do a video about personal value system in the future so that you can really understand how to set your personal value system, how to analyze what value system you've been living according to for the past couple of years in your life, and to build a better value system for yourself and how to continuously practice having a healthy value system. So I am definitely going to do that. So that's why I need you to subscribe. So this is a mid-ad. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so that when I release that video, you'll be aware of it. So when you have that personal value system, the next step is to practice. Practice living according to your value system. Practice living according to the sort of life that you said you want your life to mean. Practice living according to your truth. Practice living according to the reality that you want to have in your life. So if you say you want your life to mean or to be one about kindness, about love, about generosity, about forgiveness, then you have to practice it. And this is also a good time for you to start therapy or to start counseling, because your therapist and counselor can really, really help you put you on the right path and guide you and say, okay, fine, these are the things that are important to you. These are the best ways to live according to them in your daily life. You may be going down the wayside and your therapist is just going to help you come back and say, okay, this is the path that you're supposed to be on. So practice, and study and get enough information. All of the things that you want to do for yourself have already been done in life. There is nothing new under the sun. Maybe just all the technology we have on social media, but reading books about people who already live their lives according to the value system that you want to live can be inspiring for you. So don't just stay in your own cocoon. Open up your mind, study, read articles, watch videos on YouTube like this one, and also seek therapy and also seek a counselor to assist you and help you find the right path as you create your own life and the meaning you want for yourself. Okay? So now, develop healthy relationships in your life. The people around you really does affect the kind of person that you become. If you're hanging around people who are not living according to the same values that you set for yourself, they will derail you. You may not know, but these things are insidious. One day at a time, they pull you away from the things that are important to you and even bring you down whenever you're trying to reach for a higher version of yourself. So make sure that you have healthy relationships and that you build relationships with people who share the same values and principles as you, and people who motivate you and drive you towards being a better version of yourself. Then after that, you create purpose. So now, when it comes to creating purpose, this is how I see it. Purpose is beyond meaning. Somebody may dispute this, that's okay, but this is my own personal view. I feel like when you give your life purpose, it's not just so much about you and your life anymore, it's more about other people. I see purpose as something that goes beyond the individual. So when you're thinking about what is the purpose of my life, it's something bigger than just you. And bigger doesn't mean the whole world. It could be your family, it could be your community, it could be the school you're in, it could be your workplace, but your purpose is something that's beyond you. And I always say, like, whenever you're trying to create purpose, there are some things to look out for. To ask yourself, first of all, what is something that I can do? What is a skill that I have? A soft skill or something I can do with my hands? Maybe I'm really good at building relationships. Maybe I'm good at organization. What is a thing that you know how to do and that you enjoy doing? And the second thing to ask yourself is this thing needed in my environment? Is there somewhere where this skill I have would be valuable and helpful to people? And number three, how can I take this beyond myself? So I'm not just doing it so that it profits me or it helps me. I'm doing it because it helps more than just one person, more than me. It helps a community, a group of people. So your purpose is something that is bigger than you. So when you try to create purpose in your life and you want your life to be purposeful, think about what you can do that would help other people in your life, in your community, in your environment, and then make that your purpose. And let it be something that you're good at, you're interested in doing, you're passionate about, and that you're willing to invest time and energy to grow your knowledge and your skill in that particular area. It could be something as simple as just being a listener. And a lot of people need people to listen to them, especially here in Nigeria, where mental health care and even just emotional well-being is not exactly prioritized, but we're slowly getting to that path. So maybe you're like a really good listener and you can listen to people's problems. You can then take that to an NGO and say, I would love to volunteer my services and be a listener to people. That, my dear, is purpose. So you create purpose by looking at what you can do for people beyond yourself. Now, the second to the last, actually the third to the last point is develop a spiritual practice. You may believe in God, you may not believe in God. You may be Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever, traditional religions, whichever, Ordinary, Ifa, whatever your religious belief is, you have to have a spiritual practice. And what I think of as a spiritual practice is doing things that feed your soul, doing things that really touch you as a person, as a human being, doing things that remind you that you were connected to a much greater energy and force, a force that has created the sun, the moon, the skies, the ocean, the plants, even the viruses, honestly, every little thing from the biggest to the smallest, you are a part of that narrative, and you need to do something that really fills up your heart and really takes you down to that place where you feel connected to this oneness. So if it is kneeling down to pray in church on Sundays, if it is reading a spiritual book, if it is burning sage, if it is spending time to meditate, if it is going to the mosque and praying 5 times a day, whatever practice you know that feeds your soul and helps you be connected to the rest of the world, make it a practice. Have it become a habit, a ritual. Maybe you do it in the mornings. Even journaling can be a part of your spiritual practice, but make it regular because you need to feed your soul so that you can consistently have that clarity to live according to your values and to live a purposeful life. Now, the actual second to the last point. Have healthy relationships. I already said that before, but I want to just plug in this little point. Redefine old relationships. Now, we have this thing about wanting to cut off old relationships. Yes, cut the ones off that are not good for you anymore, the ones that are toxic, but then also leave that space to redefine some of the relationships that you know have sort of outgrown the path that they were on before. Maybe the reason why you and this person became friends was because of this and that, but now that you're changing and now that you're growing, you can carry your friends along with you and let them know, like, I'm not on that path anymore. I'm on a new path. I'm becoming a different person. I'm changing my value system. I'm living according to a different kind of principle. I'm having this new spiritual practice. I want to live a more purposeful life. This is the meaning I want for my life, and I want you to come along with me. And the redefinition of old relationship really does mean open and honest communication about your true feelings and your true thoughts. So be open to redefining old relationships that have been good to you, and also open up your heart to creating new ones that would be best for you. Okay? And then the final thing about creating meaning and purpose in your life is learn to make better decisions for yourself. And your personal value system will be very important in this path. You need to know how to make decisions that feed you and keep you aligned with your core. So take, for example, you have to choose a job. Like, okay, someone is offering you a job on an island, and another person is offering you a job on the mainland. And you need to decide, which one am I gonna choose? And they pretty much give you the same salary. So you're going to ask yourself, okay, what are the things that are most important to me? What do I value about the place I want to work? I value a mentally healthy workplace. I value a place that allows me independence over my time. I value a place where the people there are open to speaking and talking. I value a place where it's close to home. I value a place where I don't have to go through Lagos traffic. Think about it. So when you look at those the things that you value, it would help you make a better decision. Even when you're going into relationships as well. If you have two people asking you to go out with you, you look at them like, what are they offering to you? What are the things about them that you find attractive? And with the things that you find attractive, which of these qualities do you find most valuable? Maybe you value a person who has a stable job. You value a person who knows how to communicate their feelings. You value a person who looks a certain way or dresses a certain way or hangs around a certain group of people. You value a person who works in a certain kind of industry because it's similar to yours and it means that you will gel better. You value a person who either speaks the same language as you or they don't, or they have the same culture or they don't, or they have the same religion or they don't. So knowing the things that you value would help you make better decisions for yourself. So these two things go hand in hand, but it is so important for you to know how to make really good decisions. And a lot of these things are not things that if you just do them one time, ta-da, you are the best at it. No. It takes time and it takes practice and it takes a whole lot of forgiveness of yourself when you mess up, when you're not aligned with yourself and your spirit and your soul, and also when you're just feeling a little bit lazy or just not motivated to do the things you want to do. So it requires a lot of patience, a lot of forgiveness, a lot of talking to yourself, a lot of introspection, a lot of support from the people around you, and consistency and commitment to being the person that you want to be. So I do hope that these tips are very helpful. And if you want more information and you want to talk to me some more, please leave your voice in the comment section. Say something to me, ask me a question, send me an email, send us a DM on Instagram. I will always be willing to answer and to listen to you. I do hope you enjoyed this video. I do hope you found it helpful. Don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell, and I will see you next time. Bye.